I understand we're a plague, responsible for almost wiping out your entire species, and we've done so much worse to so many others across the galaxy. I know this. To us, it was our duty. We paid for our crimes. Our entire race poisoned. And now, I'm helping you engineer their extinction. My extinction.
They could have understood what it felt like for so many others when they first saw Viltrumites in their skies. They doubled down, turned the cruelty up to max, and kept on killing. I know you know this, but I also know it still hurts. So come here.
No, what do you... I don't...
See? Before, you would have punched my head off for doing this.
I still might.
Yo, my boy Nolan got soft this season. Seriously. Well, I mean, he's still conflicted of what he wants and what he wants to do. Like, he's helping the enemy, but at the same time, he's like conflicted of erasing his whole, species of people that he been living with his whole life, right? But on a serious note, I really appreciate what they did for episode 2. Understanding his past, what shaped Nolan's beliefs, why he was sent to Earth, what caused the current state of Viltrumites. It's crazy. Like, let me talk about this real quick. It's crazy. They basically went through the pandemic, the Black Plague, like times 100. Like, that's insane. Billions of Viltrumites just gone, erased from one virus. The most broken, unstoppable force in the universe just wiped out from one virus. And before I talk about Titus, I think that's how you say his name, right? And before I speak about him, like, I love and appreciate the fact that they took their time in showcasing the impact the virus had against the Vultramites and Nolan and his perspective and seeing his fallen people, his parents fall and have to throw them into the universe, you know? Heck, even himself experiencing having the virus and surviving and living. It really put things into perspective. Like, yes, they're doing bad things and they're corrupting other species and almost putting these other species into extinction. I truly think that one of the reasons why Nolan is even changing as an individual right now is because of his own experience going through near extinction. I think the fact that he could relate to that is what's helping him grow as a person and why he knows that it's probably right for him to help out the cause of fighting against his people, no matter how desperately he wants to preserve at least the existence of his people. But past all that, I'm glad they showcased that. But yo, I gotta see what Titus went through. I gotta see his life, his experience, what was going through his timeline and his time period, especially with Argol, the great conqueror or their king or whatever, you know? I gotta see that. Because the fact that he's the one who created the virus to wipe out his own race, he must have went through something devious. Something must have happened during his time that like changed everything. Like, I gotta see what happened. So I hope they showcase that. Because what drives a man to like want to eradicate your own race, right? I mean, of course, he understands and knows that his own race was causing the suffering of everybody else in the universe, right? To me, something must have happened. Like, I just don't feel like that's only the reason why he decided to create the virus in the first place and wipe out his race. Like, I genuinely feel like he first thought that, of course, he mentioned already that he first thought that, killing or whatever he did to Argol was necessary to put his people a step forward into realizing, the tyranny or what they were doing. But I also feel like he's the type of person that would use his words and try to influence and convince everybody that this is the path of our people that we could do to help support the universe and be a positive to the universe and not just be a positive for ourselves. So I truly think that Titus must have like tried to take the political route and try to use his words and give speeches and all of that in order to convince the people. But obviously, since they call him the betrayer, I'm assuming his words never penetrate anybody. just off the fact that maybe his mistake was killing off their previous king before trying to cause a revolution, you know? But yeah, I definitely got to see what happened because something definitely happened that caused him to make the decision to eradicate his own species. There's no other way. And speaking of like Nolan learning about that fact in that moment, that was really what showcased the growth of character development for me.
What is that?
The Scourge virus.
How? How do you have this?
Because I was the one who created it.
Do you know what you did? How many suffered and died? You brought us to the edge of extinction. You killed billions. Promise me that this virus is a final resort.
I will use it. Only if I see no other way to subdue the Empire.
Because imagine, right? You literally are throwing your father into space, your mother into space, dead, and you don't know why this is happening and what's causing the virus to appear into society in the first place. And yet you choose not to kill the man that basically caused the death of your loved ones, everybody around you. So that's what sparked the thought, right? That Mark and Nolan are experiencing like a flip in terms of the yin and yang. Nolan is actually becoming a lot better as a person, while Mark feels like he's getting a lot worse, a lot more darker. Because no way, season one, Nolan would have insta killed Titus once he learned that fact. Like, there's no other way to explain it. Like, he wouldn't want to hear no buts, no ifs, no explanation why this and that. And now that I think about it, like, look at Mark in this season. That man just looked at Titan and then just started spazzing at him. Like, he just started like put him in almost critical condition. Like, that's what Nolan would do in season one. So yeah, that's why I say like that moment right there, him learning the truth about his family and why they died and everyone else died is because of this one person that he's speaking to casually, and then him deciding not to kill him in that moment, that was a defining moment for Nolan, whether he realized it or not. Another defining moment I gotta mention is, my goodness, he didn't apologize not just once, not just twice. I think it was 3 times, something like that. And that is so crazy. The fact that the other species were so shocked, so baffled that he apologized, taking accountability for his actions and his people's actions. Like, it's insane that nothing else, even though he probably eradicated like half their species, like just him apologizing was enough for them to forgive Nolan and what his sins are, you know? Like, that's insane. And that had me thinking, like, maybe if Vulturemites did more of that, then species would be more willing to support their cause of avoiding extinction and, you know, seeing what they could do to help out. But since all they know is evade, conquer, and destroy, all they could do is rely on themselves and the allies that they force them to be allies. Yeah, so that right there, Nolan apologizing more than one time. It had me thinking back to my video. I believe it was season 2 it happened. When did Mark see Nolan? It was season 2 or 3 where he saw Nolan and Nolan was holding his brother. I think it was season 3, right? Yeah, it was season 3 for sure. Yeah. No, or 2. I think it was season 2 actually, right? I don't know, whatever season it was. Yeah, it was season 2. Yeah, so in that season, right? Not one time when he saw his son again, Mark, I'm talking about. Not one time did he apologize for what he did on Earth, what he did to his mother, what he did to him, Mark. Nothing. He just moved past it. He's like, it is what it is. That's really was his mentality. He was like, it is what it is. And he just moved on, continued the mission of breeding. Like, seriously. And I mentioned it too in that video. I might have to link it down below where Mark was just looking for an apology for the most part. And that felt like the hardest thing for Nolan to do at the time. And that's why I believe in season 3 it was, where he had that moment where it was like, I think I miss my wife. When he said that, that was such a huge moment for him. Like you see it in his eyes too. Like it's almost like he discovered like a new ability in a sense of like missing somebody that is not a Viltrumite, apologizing, taking accountability. I don't think you guys truly realize the impact Alan has as a character for Nolan. Like literally most of the things he's doing right now is because Alan is like his friend, right? And like I said last season, and I'm going to say again this season, Alan is going to be the MVP. He's already the MVP of this whole coalition, this whole mission of like saving the universe, right? Because without him, we wouldn't get this version of Nolan. Without him, I'm thinking about like the things he did for Mark. I know he did something for Mark, but without him, a lot of things wouldn't be happening that has happened. And seriously, like the only reason why there's belief that there's a chance, because like in season 2, right? Like especially when they captured Nolan and they told Mark like you better conquer Earth or else we're gonna come back and destroy everything. Like when that moment happened, like I really thought it was GG's. Like I couldn't see a way that like Mark could stop them or anyone else could like stop them from doing what they want to do. But Alan, like he became the answer. Like he's the answer. That's gonna be his nickname, like the answer. Like he really is. And he's the reason why there is hope and there is belief that they could actually win against the Vultramites. Seriously, 100%. But yeah, back to Nolan. Like, what do you think about Nolan and his character progression? I said this before in my last video about Mark. Like, how do you feel about their character progression and what they're going through? Do you believe in my theory that they're going to become like each other, like they're each other's opposites? And I want to know your predictions of what that dynamic going to be like when they actually see each other again as basically like slightly not completely different people, but like definitely there are some differences since the last time they spoke to each other, right? So yeah, you leave your comment section down below about that. I'm rooting for Nolan. Like low key, I do want him to get his wife back. Like I'm gonna be honest, like low key, like low key. Actually am curious. Like, what do you think is Nolan's reaction when he sees the real estate dude in his wife's bed? Like, he might go back into season 1 Nolan. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might do that because that's the last thing a man wants to see, right? Even if he did abandon his family, right? But yeah, anyways, you let me know. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.